on the memorial for Charlie Kirk, Consecrating Horror, Preparing for Holy War. Tens of thousands of people turned out for Charlie Kirk's funeral. Let's be clear. The killing of Charlie Kirk was wrong, and it has nothing to do with getting to a better world. But Charlie Kirk was not some big-hearted kid who just loved debating people. Charlie Kirk was a stone fascist warrior who could give an intellectual and moral cover to the ugly ideas that make up the essence of MAGA. Ideas like contempt for black people, hatred of immigrants, anti-gay hatred with a particular venom toward trans people, and the demonization and degradation of women who refuse to submit to male domination. Go to revcom.us to learn more about Kirk's real views. But these fascists paraded themselves around as being holy. They castigated everyone who opposes their fascism as immoral and inhuman. The people who gloried in sending innocent people to torture camps in El Salvador, the people who separate immigrant children from their parents, the people who try to make life a living hell for trans youth, they spent the day congratulating themselves for being moral paragons. Meanwhile, those who dare to stand up unarmed against heavily armed thugs from ICE, those who give their time and their resources and their spirit to fight for others, those committed to justice, those who risk their lives to go up against these fascists who hold state power, we were condemned as evil. Early on, Stephen Miller pointed the faithful to their enemies. Go listen to Miller on YouTube. Listen to him aggressively defend the U.S., an empire built on enslavement and genocide, an empire which has waged endless wars, causing the needless deaths of millions and millions, and an empire that condemns people here and around the world daily to misery and spirit-crushing poverty. Listen to Miller's hatred for and threats against those who he sees as opposing this empire or getting in the way of his program to preserve it. Much was made of Charlie Kirk's sacrifice and how now God is supposedly welcoming him to heaven. Look, there are causes for which, if need be, people should give their lives. But A, the fascist preservation and reinforcement of oppressive divisions between people is not one of them. And B, there is no God who will give you a nice welcome once you've done it. The cause to which people should dedicate their lives, and if necessary, sacrifice them, is for the cause of ending oppression and injustice and bringing about human emancipation. Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, played a certain role at this. Most of all, she dressed up the patriarchy, the open domination of women by men, as something that could somehow be good for women. The revolutionary leader and author of the new communism, Bob Avakian, has made the point and written extensively on the fact that especially, but not only as it pertains to women, the Bible taken literally is a horror. And people can go to his book, Away with All Gods, at revcom.us to find out why, and why this is especially so in regard to male-female relations. PA goes into the enslaving character of religion, including the literal justifications in all the great holy books for the grossest kinds of subordination of women and the literally murderous hatred for LGBT people. If you're a decent person, you don't want the kind of world that Erica Kirk is trying to sell you. The memorial for Charlie Kirk capped off a breakneck week of fascist threats and repressive actions. The memorial became a time for them to get inspired to do more of that. Well, we too must be inspired. Inspired to take up the call from refusefascism.org to bring millions, yes, millions, to D.C. on November 5th around their call, The Fall of the Trump Fascist Regime, beginning November 5th. This call says the whole Trump fascist regime must be driven from power. And it goes on to say this can be done by by refusing to surrender the future and our humanity to a vengeful fascist maniac, by millions rising up in massive, unrelenting, nonviolent protest and resistance, by defying and refusing to comply with fascist dictates, by walking out, by shutting down, by fearlessly using our platforms and influence to inspire and challenge others to join us. By doing all this day after day, coming back stronger in the face of attack and repression, uniting, not dividing across many viewpoints and backgrounds, fostering a collective spirit of courage and righteous fury, and willing to sacrifice for the greater good of defeating this fascism. We begin now. On November 5th, from across this nation, we pour into D.C. From that day forward, we don't stop until the regime is removed. Listen, history is full of examples where people who had right on their side fought against tremendous odds and were victorious. It is also full of examples of people passively hoping to wait it out, only to get swallowed up by a horror beyond what they had ever imagined. The future is unwritten. Which one we get is up to us. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. The Trump regime must go now.